So we were all clearly a little bit shocked that Davante Adams requested a trade from the Las Vegas Raiders earlier today. But with that being said, even though it was a shock, I think there's a way that we can salvage this. There's a way that maybe we can still keep our dignity, maybe even a draft pick, and go get another draft pick for this guy. Because don't get me wrong, I love me some of Davante Adams, but I mean, some of the rumors coming out are, obviously the Raiders want at least a second-round pick, all this stuff. I don't know that they'll get it, especially since, Davante Adams requested a trade. This would be different if that did not happen, because Adams and the company, that gives the rest of the NFL a little bit of leverage, if you will. But today we're going to cover the teams that we think should make the move and make Davante Adams a part of their roster. And to me, it starts out with... Now, I'm mainly going with contenders here because you can tell he wants to win. You can tell he wants to win a Super Bowl, and I think it makes a lot of sense. So here are the top 5 options that we think could make sense for Davante Adams if they can make his contract work. A whole another thing. Number 5, the Detroit Lions. So obviously, the Lions are very talented. They've got a very good running game with David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, and all that. But they've also got some really talented receivers in Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, and then also Tim Patrick is not somebody that you can sleep on. But Davante, despite his contract, would make a lot of sense. He's more of a possession receiver. He would be the best friend of Jared Goff right away. He would allow Amon-Ra St. Brown to have more one-on-one coverage where he can do his thing, and then Jamison can stretch the field. I think it would be a match made in heaven if you ask me. And again, he's already going to have a running game. He's going to have a solid defense. And it's not like the Lions didn't just make the NFC Championship game last year. So you want to talk about going to play for a contender? That would be a very good fit. Number 4, the New Orleans Saints. So aside from Derek Carr being there, they are playing the lights out right now. Yes, I know that they just dropped one recently, but overall the Saints, they're a pretty solid team. I think that they are... they've got some good weapons, and I think that he would pair nicely with what they want to do offensively, because at the same time, even though he's not going to be, maybe he won't be that number 1, quote unquote, even though he's still very much capable of doing it. Outside of Chris Olave, I don't see another wide receiver that can be that next option for Derek Carr. I think this would be a slam in the bucket, and it would make a lot of sense for both sides. Number 3 is the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I understand that, and from what I remember, they don't have a ton of cap space. And again, this is only if they can make the cap space and contract of Davante Adams work. But right now, the Baltimore Ravens, to be honest with you, with Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and Nelson Aguilar, I didn't even know he was still in the NFL, to be honest with you. But they have a lot of talent. But Davante would unlock yet another thing for this offense. They've got a great running game. Their defense they've got a very good defense too. So this would immediately, I think, then put him in a position where he could be with a contender and ultimately not have a lot of pressure on him. Number 2 would be the Buffalo Bills. They got nobody outside of James Cook. Nobody. Even though I like me some Khalil Shakir, I think that Davante Adams would immediately be a great teammate for Josh Allen, and I think that he would be that number 1 wide receiver that the Bills need. And again, if they make his contract work, I think that he would be an absolute favorite addition for a lot of players and coaches. And then finally, the number 1 team that makes the most sense, the Jets, baby. So the New York Jets are, in my mind, another number 1 wide receiver away from really being dangerous here. Now, the Jets are talented, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, Aaron Rodgers and what he did with Davante Adams in Green Bay, I just think this would be a match made in heaven. And yes, the defense is getting there. They just came off a game in which they cannot get it done. But can you imagine an offense with Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, and Davante Adams? No disrespect to Mike Williams, but good Lord, this would be fun. Good Lord, this offense would be humming. It would be making plays. And if he could make his contract work, I think this would be a match made in heaven. It would give him that security blanket that he always knows and loves, and I think it would make a lot of sense. But overall, that is it. Those are our 5 teams that we think could make a play/trade for Davante Adams. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and we'll see you on the next video.